Good, happy Friday morning, November 6th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday morning, so let's begin. First up, we begin with COVID-19 updates. Coronavirus in New Hampshire, important information. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 11,808 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 9,544,315 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 486 number of people death from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 788 number. Sorry about that. 788 number of people who've been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 300 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. Now let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are, and let's take a look. In Manchester, 124. And let's take a look at total cases of COVID-19 in the map. Manchester, 2487. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. In red, deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here, current cases. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalizations. And let's take a look at this chart here, total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalization, red, deaths, and blue recovered. Let's take a look at this chart here, positive PCR test rate. And daily PCR test. And let's take a look at this chart here, age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. And let's take a look at this chart here, infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here, deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Test report delays boost New Hampshire to highest single day. Total COVID-19 cases. 252 new cases, 2 more deaths reported in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Here, you know what that means, the Big Friday sale. But what's so special about Friday? What about Monday?
7 of New Hampshire's 10 counties are now experiencing substantial spread of COVID-19. As predicted, numbers are rising as winter nears.
It's the fall. We always talk about in the fall, the flu, the cold, COVID. The viral spread is just going to move a little faster and more aggressively in the fall as our immune systems become a little more suppressed.
But despite the increases, as of now, Governor Chris Sununu is not considering further travel restrictions or making major changes to state guidance. He says contact tracing allows his team to make smart decisions in specific areas.
If we see numbers sparking up aggressively in Hillsborough or Rockingham or one county or the other, if we had to take additional steps, we can also, I think, because we just know more.
Health officials say controlling the spread will require people and businesses working together to follow state guidance.
This is a virus that likes to take advantage of crowds, groups of people gathering in close contact in indoor spaces. And it's those settings in particular which are going to increasingly pose a challenge as we enter the colder months. People are gathering indoors more.
Dr. Benjamin Chan says it'll be up to each person to avoid those situations where the virus can thrive.
There are some activities that are inherently more risky, and so we continue to stress the fact that people need to adhere to social distancing, need to try and avoid those group settings.
And the governor again emphasizing today that we'll be dealing with the pandemic for a long time to come, even after there's a vaccine. Reporting live in Concord, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire health officials say another look at travel guidelines might be needed as COVID-19 cases rise. Granite staters urge to caution, prevent, and precaution avoid group gatherings. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
You know what that means, the Big Friday sale. But what's so special about Friday? What about Monday through Thursday?
New Hampshire health officials say nationally we are clearly in the start of a third wave of the coronavirus. On a group call with other health providers today, state epidemiologist Dr. Benjamin Chan says the Granite State missed a second wave during the summer, but now just about all COVID-19 numbers here are increasing.
At our lowest point, there were, over the summer, around maybe 5 to 10 people hospitalized on any given day throughout the state with COVID-19, and currently that number is up into the 40s.
Dr. Chan says one of the biggest concerns facing the state is holiday travel. State guidelines say avoid group gatherings. It's best to celebrate only with people living under your own roof. They discourage all non-essential trips, especially on planes or trains. And while no quarantine is required for travel within the 6 New England states, Dr. Chan says that could change.
But given the rapidly changing and worsening epidemiology, both in New Hampshire and in New England and nationally, and with the holidays approaching, the guidance in New Hampshire and in surrounding states and other states across the country may and is likely to change.
Dr. Chan says it's also important to know the travel guidelines in other states and whether people traveling from New Hampshire are subject to any restrictions. But officials say many of these rules are on the honor system.
That quarantine is not being enforced. It's just very high risk. We have lots of people traveling on airplanes who then end up testing positive, and so we're asking people to have personal responsibility in the quarantine.
Dr. Chan says he knows it's tough to cut back on holiday plans, but it could be the best thing you can do for your family and your loved ones. Reporting live, I'm Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Analysts, patterns coming into focus as votes continue to be counted. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
Hey, Paul here, owner of Century Roofing. I personally wish to thank the thousands of our customers for supporting our team.
Well, Tom, this is taking time, but it's exactly what the elections officials in a lot of states said was going to happen. Because of the pandemic, there was a flood of early absentee and mail-in voting, and this is what's being counted right now in states like Pennsylvania, Nevada, Georgia, and Arizona. All of these states are very close, with Biden holding the lead in current counts in Nevada and Arizona, and Trump holding the lead currently in Pennsylvania and Georgia. But there are trend lines on those counts of the votes, and all of the races are getting closer and narrowing. In Pennsylvania, the remaining votes are coming out of Philadelphia and Philadelphia County, overwhelmingly blue precincts. Same goes for Georgia. The trend line there favors Biden because remaining votes are from urban areas. Arizona is the one state right now that looks like it could narrow or flip in favor of President Trump. But officials in that state say it could be some time before they're done counting. Nevada is also saying it's taking its time. Officials there have Clark County to tabulate, a very populous county that is expected to pad Biden's lead in Nevada, but it isn't something they're going to rush.
Our goal here in Clark County is not to count fast. We want to make sure that we're being accurate. The results in the state of Nevada obviously are going to be very important to the entire country, and that is our number one goal.
In a lot of cases, these states could have changed their laws to allow for pre-processing like New Hampshire did to speed up these counts. They opted not to do that, and that, along with the sheer volume of votes, Jen, is why this is taking so long.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire areas in New Hampshire in severe extreme drought shrink in New Hampshire, report says. Some recent rain and wet snow helped improve conditions. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Jessica Moran.
Here, you know what that means. The Big Friday sale. But what's so special about Friday? What about Monday?
Can't help but to think about when this slow-moving disaster might end. You know, it could end in a month, or it could go on for 2 or 3 years.
New Hampshire's drought management team meeting virtually to discuss the state's worst drought since 2016. The new United States Drought Monitor shows the areas experiencing extreme and severe drought conditions have decreased since last week. A little over 7% of the state remains in extreme drought, down from over 16% last week. The recent rainfall primarily helped northern and western portions of the state.
This rainfall that we received over the month of October was the most monthly total rainfall we've received since April.
But now, moving forward, the prospect of more help for the southeastern portion of the state is bleak.
We don't have any kind of indication that we're going to get any type of significant rainfall over the next month. So expect that this drought conditions, especially in southeastern New Hampshire, to persist.
State water officials say 117 water systems are on mandatory restrictions and 50 are on voluntary restrictions, impacting about 345,000 people. 8 towns put in restrictions on separate water systems, impacting tens of thousands more. They say reports show them since late June, 190 residential wells have been deepened or replaced, and the number is expected to increase. The state does offer well owners emergency drought assistance. They say the program's been in effect for about 2 weeks, and so far 110 people have qualified for help based on their income. In Manchester, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for joining us for this morning edition. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.